Hello, gentle people. Oh my goodness, it has been such a long time. I didn't even look to see when was the last time I made a video. It's probably more than a year ago when I was still in California. I think the last video was like me deciding, if I should leave California, like right at the beginning of this pandemic. And yeah, I left. So I'm back in Florida, at least for a little while before heading off again. And I hope you're all right. I really hope you're okay. I I don't know any other way to describe what this past year has been like, except to say like it was the best of times and it was the worst of times, right? Um, I know people personally who died from COVID, and on the other hand, like a lot of good things happened to me personally as well, which is why I said that. But anyway, I don't know, maybe I'll do another video where I get into all you know the feeling stuff. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is something that has me really excited. I haven't been excited about anything in a long time, as far as art is concerned. But one of the things that I've always wanted to do is make my own paint, and I started on that journey, and I'm so excited because I know that like acrylic paints, the ones that you buy in the store, sometimes they have a lot of material in there that you're really not supposed to be washing down like a drain or anything. And you know me already. I love the all natural and herbal and the this and the that. So I was like, okay, I can use, my dried flowers because I go to Trader Joe's every Sunday and buy flowers. I can use those flowers to make paint. I can use dirt outside to make paint and just all these different natural things to make pigments. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you some of the things, some of the tools and stuff that I have to make my own paint, and then I'm going to be doing some videos to kind of walk you through the process. It's all brand new and at the very beginning for me, but you know how I do, like when I get into something I go deep. So let's get into it. First of all, the company that, well, there are two companies I bought stuff from. One is Earth Paint, and the lady who runs that company, very nice lady. So I got stuff from Earth Paint, and I also got stuff from another company called Earth Pigment. I'll start by showing you the different pigments that I got. So remember I said that I'm going to be using stuff like spirulina and turmeric and dried flowers to make paints, but I also bought some natural pigments as well. And these pigments are non-toxic for making your own paint. So I have this color here, that's French turquoise. I have emerald green, violet ochre, black ochre, brilliant yellow, natural mica gold. I do love a little smidge of gold. Ultramarine blue. I love me some blue. Well, ultramarine, and I love phthalo blue as well, and then Mayan red. And then I haven't gotten the earth pigment stuff yet, so when I get that stuff I'll show you. So basically these pigments, they're all natural, non-toxic, they're professional grade. So when you make your own paint, you're actually making professional grade paint. But the cool thing about controlling the process is you know exactly what's going into your paint, and there's nothing funky in there, and it's super easy, right? All right, so that's the pigment. The other thing that you need when you're making paint is you're gonna need a binder. The binder is the stuff that allows the paint to stick to whatever substrate it is that you're using. And I have a couple different binders. A lot of people, I've seen, videos with people on YouTube either making watercolor or oil, but you know me, I have to go deep. So I'm gonna be making three different kinds of paint. So I need three different types of binder. The first type of binder I have is gum arabic, and gum arabic comes in like a powder form, or you can get it in crystal, or you can actually buy the liquid gum arabic. This is specifically for when you want to make watercolor. So what you do is you'd mix this in some hot water, and then you'd mix your pigment and put those two together, and booyah, watercolor paint. All right, so gum arabic again is specifically for watercolor. The other thing that I'm going to be making is some gouache, and for gouache it requires this impasto medium because that is what gives it like this opaque quality. But you also need some walnut oil as well. So walnut oil is used just by itself if you're making oil paint. So you'd mix the pigment with the walnut oil. Pretty much these two things, that's it. That's all that you need to make some oil paint. All right. But if you're making the gouache, you're gonna need the impasto medium and you're gonna need some walnut oil as well. So I went over watercolor, I talked about gouache, and I talked about oil. Oh, actually no, it's 4 different types of paint I'm going to be making. The other thing that I got from Earth Paint is the natural acrylic medium. So if you're already familiar with acrylic medium, this is the stuff that I love to make collage, because this is what, you know, I'll stick paper and all that good stuff down on. But the stuff that you normally buy in the store is typically, you know, it's not non-toxic, and the stuff from Earth Paint is. So I'm excited to make watercolor, gouache, oil paint, and acrylic because I'm just extra like that. One of the most important things that you need to make paint is one of these things, right? They're called mullers. They're made out of glass, and what happens is, okay, bear with me, this is like, I'm such a klutz, so I have to be super careful. I have a piece of tempered glass. I got this from Earth Pigment as well. And what you need to do is, when you have your pigment and your binder on the glass, you're going to use the glass muller. And basically what you're doing is incorporating everything, and you're going to like smush the paint around until it gets nice and glossy. And pretty much what that does is ensure that the binder touches every single pigment particle, and that's what makes your paint like super super nice. So I have this small muller. I actually bought this one on Etsy, and I have the larger one that came from Earth Pigment. So my little piece of glass is very small, so I don't know, hopefully this big one will work on it, but it just depends on how much paint you're making, right? Obviously this is if you're making a lot more paint. So you're gonna need the mullers, and I have a palette knife. I got this palette knife from Earth Pigment as well. Earth Pigment, no, sorry, Earth Paint. Earth Paint has it's almost like a kit they put together, and it has the muller, the palette knife, the glass, and you can get that whole kit from Earth Paint if you want to try to find these things on your own. Something that I got from Amazon, I have a bunch of mortar and pestles already, but they're all wood, so I ended up getting this ceramic one from Amazon. And this is if you're actually making your own pigment. So the pigment that I showed you before, you don't have to worry about putting it in a mortar and pestle because they've already like ground the stuff down to like powder. But if you're going to be making your own pigment from flowers or, you know, anything that you might find outside, you're gonna need a mortar and pestle to do that. And I'm so excited to show you the stuff that I've been grinding and working on to make my own pigment. And then something else that you're going to need in the paint process, again, this is only if you're creating your own pigment, is, well, not creating the pigment because Mother Nature already took care of that, but if you're going to be like grinding your own pigment, you're going to need some strainers and some jars, all that good stuff. So that's it for now. I just wanted to share all the different little thingies that I have to make paint. I'm super excited, and I really needed something to, I needed an injection of, I don't know, inspiration, I guess, if you want to call it that. I just had gotten to the point where I didn't feel like doing anything anymore art wise, and you know, I would force myself, and Thank you so much. I hope you're all right. Let me know what's happening down in the box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.